Hello, I'm Mara Purl, and this is Novel Conversations. Today I am talking with Bill Bradley, and he has a wonderful new play and film which is on Max called Rolling Along, which encompasses all kinds of fantastic themes. So, one that I wanted to touch on right now, Bill, has to do with privilege and with racism, both of which you bring up in your wonderful play. And so, do you feel that you've led a charmed life from the Olympics to Princeton to Oxford to the Knicks to the Senate?
I've been very lucky. First of all, I was lucky to have the parents that I had who took an interest and loved me in a very comprehensive and special way. I've been lucky with the people that I've met along the way who have forced me to grow or enhanced my life.
Mm.
Um, so I've been privileged in the sense that a human being can be privileged. I've also had more resources than some people, a lot of people. Um, but I didn't come from wealth. My father was a small town banker, but it's never really just the material that you measure wealth. I mean, it's also the spirit. It's also the your feeling of your obligation to other people and your sense of community. And in that sense, I've always been fortunate, whether it was with the Nick team or with companies I work for now.
Mhm.
And there is a community, and once you're part of a community, it gives your life meaning beyond your own individual life, and that's for me what's so powerful.
I I share quite a bit of that with you. Like you, I had very special parents and smart, devoted, creative, and they opened all kinds of doors for me and my sister. Um, and I cherish that and feel responsible to it, trying to do my best with everything that I've been given. But at the same time, there's a sense of discomfort or uh, where do I where do I put that privilege? How do I even things out? Um, and so, do we take a stand for a meritocracy, or is it more important to have affirmative action, to stand for civil rights? All these things are important, I know, to me and to you. Um, and where do we put the racism, which it seemed we had made quite a lot of progress some decades ago. And now sometimes I don't feel as good about it. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, the country is always a work in progress,
Mm.
and while we've had progress in the law in the country through the civil rights legislation and others things. Um, the progress in our humanity is the real question. And as long as each of us is working on being the best person we can be, then we're going to see other people for who they are, not for the color of their skin or the shape of their eyes or their ethnicity. And being able to do that is one of the keys to being a mature adult. And
Hmm.
then connecting that to your own imagination is the way you get transcendence. It is beyond race or ethnicity or whatever. But you have to recognize that we have a certain history in this country, and we have to always be aware of that and strive to overcome any residue that still exists. And there are plenty of examples of that around. I mean, we're a long way from being there, but we're further than we were 30 or 40 years ago.
Yeah, it's a very rich part of life. For me, I went to an international school. There were 40 different nationalities in the student body.
Yeah.
And I wish more students could have that kind of experience. It's impossible once you've had that experience, not to understand that there are different perspectives on things.
Well, and also that differences are to be celebrated. They're not to be used as divisions,
Exactly.
because it enhances your own life and your own humanity. If you understand what something means in another culture, or what something means to someone else that's different than you. As I say, when I kicked off the presidential, it's actually in the film. We are many, we are different, but we are one. And that is the key, that we are one as America. And that diversity is included in that oneness. And to the extent that we can find the diversity enriching, uh, it makes life even more interesting to live.
It really does. Well, so there's one other kind of division I wanted to mention, which is, do we have ageism? And on the other hand, do we have youthism in our culture?
I don't think that ageism or youthism is close to racism or ethnic
No.
or religious division. I mean, ageism is, I don't even know what it is. I mean, prejudice against older people. Well, I'm an older person now. Um, if I'm looking for people who are going to discriminate against me, I don't think I'm going to find them. I don't feel I don't feel that's the case. I find that I'm bringing more to the game now than I did 20 years ago, but it's
Yes.
based upon the knowledge that you've accumulated in living a life. And the knowledge isn't simply history or the economy, but it's also your own personal development and how important other people and how important love is in your life. So to me, um, it's a much richer experience if you're older than if you're younger, because you've seen more, you've probably been hurt more, you've probably celebrated more. And each year things get better, not worse. Now, the thing that does get worse is, of course, your physical body deteriorating. But I'm a little bit away from being too concerned about that right now.
Well, you're obviously living your best life. I'm trying to do the same. I'm older now too, but I love this chapter of being able to mentor and feeling as though, I mean, I'll never stop trying to improve, whether it's my writing or whatever it might be. But there's a sense of mastery about certain things that I can say that's a good sentence. And help other people who are trying to get there with their writing, and that's really a joy. And I have a lot more stories than I used to have that I can share with grandkids.
That's for sure.
Really fun.
And
um
it's always amazing how we learn through stories. And that's what I really came to believe as a senator and trying to communicate with people.
mhm.
I'd give a speech about the economy or about the environment or taxes or the legal system, and it'd be full of historical references and so forth. Then I would tell a story, and at the end, people would remember the story, but they wouldn't remember any of the statistics. And so
Exactly.
the power
It
of stories. I
The
mean, the
power of
Bible
story.
is a series of stories.
Yeah.
Why a story it moves you because it engages all of your senses, not just your brain, but your heart as well. That's why they can be powerful, and that's how I tried to shape this film.
And you
Um,
did. Yeah.
yeah,
It is story. I think of story as being a powerful lens through which you can really see what you might not have been able to see otherwise.
right, exactly.
I have a saying, which is that nonfiction is about facts, but fiction is about truth.
That's a good
I've become
formulation.
a fiction writer, and having been a journalist and focused on facts, 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 uh, it was wonderful. I loved it. I'm grateful for what I learned. But with fiction, I can just go deeper, unencumbered by particular details, and freer to make kind of intuitive connections. It's a very interesting process.
Well, it gives you more room for your imagination.
It does.
And I think that's healthy. I think people who go through life only with rationality as the basis of how they relate to the world are missing something. And they're missing the deeper human interaction. They're missing a lot of the things that you get only if you pay attention to your heart and spirit as well as your brain.
You know, the slogan on my website is "The Journey from Head to Heart."
Oh yeah. Well, there we
So
go.
we're on the same page. So do you have some favorite fiction authors?
Oh, I'm I don't have any favorites, but I'm like a lot of people. I mean, Tolstoy played a big role in my life at some point, and I, I like Mark Twain.
Mark Twain, of
Yeah,
course. Yes.
and that's the river.